President Reagan signed a secret order authorizing direct U.S. arms shipments to Iran through the CIA and other government connections. The order instructed the CIA not to tell Congress about the operation. In what would soon be called the Iran-Contra affair, this secret U.S. arms deal traded missiles and other weapons in order to free Americans held hostage in Lebanon. But it also used funds from the arms deal to support armed conflict in Nicaragua. We'll be hearing more about that later this year. Switching to space news, this will get some comment.
Voyager 2 passed through its closest approach to Uranus.
The Voyager 2 space probe swept past Uranus on January 24th, coming within 50,679 miles of the seventh planet of the solar system. During its exploration of the planet, the Voyager 2 discovered 10 moons, studied its cold atmosphere, and examined its ring system, discovering 2 new rings. Speaking of science, on the same day, L. Ron Hubbard, failed sci-fi novelist and founder of the Church of Scientology, died.
The body of L. Ron Hubbard was sound and fully capable of serving this mighty Satan for many years.
Although there had been rumors Hubbard had been dead for years, he was really hiding out on his ranch in California to avoid subpoenas. When his death was announced, the Church of Scientology issued a statement that declared that Hubbard's body had become an impediment to his work, and that he had decided to drop his body to continue his research on another planet, having learned how to do it without a body. Cool trip. And moving on. 2 days later, on January 26th, the Chicago Bears crushed the New England Patriots to become Super Bowl champs. These were the Super Bowl shuffle glory years. The sweetness of Walter Payton, the headbands of Jim McMahon, the girth of William the Refrigerator Perry, all led by Ditka. Mike Ditka, the walrus mustachioed head coach, inspired Robert Smigel, Saturday Night Live writer, to create a skit in 1991 called Bill Swirsky's Superfans.
Star Bears! Star Bears!
Now for some tragic news. On January 28th, anyone who's alive will remember where they were when the Space Shuttle Challenger blew up some 73 seconds into its mission.
Well, the solid rocket boosters blew away from the side of the shuttle in an explosion.
The explosion was caused by O-ring seals which weren't designed for the unusually cold conditions during the Challenger's launch that morning. Of the 7 crew members who lost their lives, one of the most well-known was Krista McAuliffe. McAuliffe had been selected from more than 11,000 applicants to participate in NASA's new Teacher in Space program. Going into February, although they technically got started in 1979 as part of the Lucasfilm Computer Division, then known as the Graphics Group, Pixar became its own corporation, with funding from Apple co-founder Steve Jobs, who became the company's majority shareholder. Meanwhile, in the Philippines, on February 7th, President Ferdinand Marcos was caught in a sketchy voters poll scandal in that year's snap presidential election. When the votes were recounted, it showed that Corazon Aquino won with almost 70% of the votes.
You mean you haven't played it yet? We can play it on my Nintendo Entertainment System. It's The Legend of Zelda and it's really rad. Those creatures from Ganon are pretty bad. Octoroks, Tektites, Libras too. But with your help, our hero pulls through.
Ryan White was readmitted back to school after he tested positive for AIDS after an infected blood transfusion. The day White returned, 151 of the school's 360 students stayed home.